Where is Matt?
Okay, you guys are gonna love this. Ooh, little bit of spice. Woo! How you do with heat?
Matt, we have an episode to record.
I'm really sorry. Okay, we have an episode to shoot, but we're talking about the funk doc, and I found this, I printed out the engagement guide, and they talked about cooking and food and the ways that you can bring food into funk music, and they talked about Bryant Terry, and I've got his cookbook, and there's a funk playlist in it that we're listening to, and I found this awesome dish. Do you have a second? Here, just come here. It's okay. Grab a seat, I'll get you a plate. We got 5 minutes.
What?
In your fork? There you go. I hope you like it. Let's go. Thank you.
If you've ever wanted to bring pop culture, music, and creativity into your classroom without adding to your workload, this is your episode. Let's get into it. So, we want the funk. This film is all about funk music, where it came from, why it got popular, what it means, and why, no matter who we are or where we're from, we're all so captivated by a funky groove. There are clips from performances, interviews with music experts and performers, and all kinds of fascinating information about music, history, and American culture. By the way, I'm Matt, and this is The Planning Period. As you can tell, I'm really excited about this documentary, and I definitely recommend screening the entire film in your classroom if you've got the time, especially while it's streaming for free on pbs.org. But if you want to, you could go ahead and watch it ahead of class and find some clips that connect to any themes or concepts you want to dig into depending on your subject area. For example, a main thread in the film is the history of Black identity and Black expression in America, and how funk music really served as a bridge from a sort of assimilation culture in the mid-1900s to a greater sense of pride around Blackness and Black American identity that's still building today. I'd bring this into a discussion in a social studies or a history class, especially in American history, where at this point in the year, you might already be talking about that time period, or if you're talking about movements for civil rights or the link between popular culture and democratic participation at any point, this film does a great job representing that link and the power of music and art to impact policy and democracy. There's obviously also a ton here for music teachers at any level. A lot of the interviews talk about the specific composition of funk tracks and what makes a funk song different from a gospel song or a soul song, and how funk elements show up in hip hop and trap music. This could be a really interesting investigation or project for students in music classes to identify these elements and patterns and even practice them or incorporate them into a remix of a song that they're already familiar with. Our partners at Detroit PBS actually hosted an in-person event a few weeks ago when the film was first released, and they brought together local experts and performers to talk about the history of funk music as it is specific to Detroit and Michigan. This panel is available online, along with some additional resources that might help you to bring this lesser-known history into your teaching. And I went ahead and made a Michigan-specific teaching and discussion guide if you want some easy-to-use resources that'll help you bring this film into your classroom, including some extension invitations that'll help your students think critically about how funk music has influenced the pop, R&B, and hip-hop music that they listen to today. So that's the Funk Doc. Check it out, send it home, watch and discuss with your students. But if you want to bring music into your classroom this week in a way that's a little more generalized, student-led, and opens up other opportunities for exploration and discussion, I've got a few other ideas. It's National Music Week, and music and performance has always been a huge part of PBS programs. In fact, did you know the longest-running music series in American history is actually on PBS? It's called Austin City Limits, and for 50 years, Austin PBS has been recording live performances and interviews with artists, and there are lesson plans for a bunch of them on PBS Learning Media as well. I'd recommend these lesson plans for music teachers because a lot of them invite students to do some pretty deep listening and noticing, and they're asked to use music vocabulary and think critically about what some of their favorite artists, most recently Billie Eilish, Alessia Cara, and Gary Clark Jr., among others, are doing to make such popular and captivating music. If you want a more local...
Well, you want to play a game?
Another game? I'm down. Let's play a game.
All right.
Let's get funky.
Hey, can you help me out, please?
What do we got today? A whole box. We've upgraded from the envelopes. All right, okay. Okay, well, we didn't Didn't upgrade that much. So here's the, okay, just gonna.
So our game is 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and this is gonna test your knowledge of Austin City Limits.
Ooh, awesome. Okay.
So on your cards, you'll have 3 performers for different genres. You have to tell me which one of these performers has not performed on Austin City Limits.
Okay, so 2 of them have performed, 2 of them have not.
2 have performed, 1 has not. You tell me which one does not perform.
Rock icons, who has not performed on Austin. All right, we got Arctic Monkeys, Pearl Jam, and Radiohead. Ooh. Arctic Monkeys, I feel like that is the vibe of Austin City Limits. Like, I feel like I could totally see them performing there. And, Pearl Jam or Radiohead, I'm gonna say not Radiohead. That's my guess. Radiohead has not performed.
That's right.
All right, Pearl Jam did. I'm gonna look at that. They were kind of, that makes sense. I feel like they were sort of like all over some of those TV shows, and they did acoustic sets, and they were very like bring the music to the people vibes. So that makes a lot of sense. Pop powerhouses, perhaps my favorite genre. Who has not performed on Austin City Limits? Billie Eilish, Gracie Abrams, and Taylor Swift. So I actually just mentioned Billie Eilish because she has a lesson plan. So I know that she has. So it's between Gracie Abrams and Taylor Swift. I feel like I saw a Gracie Abrams set. So I'm gonna go with Taylor Swift on this one.
You're correct.
I believe it. Any fun facts?
Nope. Also, Taylor, what are you doing? Austin City Limits.
Taylor, like country stars. We got Garth Brooks. We got Luke Bryan, and we got my girl Casey Musgraves. I know Casey Musgraves has been on Austin City Limits. Caught that one. You should too. Comment if you love Casey Musgraves as much as me. I'm gonna say Garth Brooks has. He just seems like he's got that classic legacy kind of energy that he would have been on there at some point. So I'm gonna go no with Luke Bryan.
Oh, you're on the roll.
I'm good. Austin City Limits, do you need a new host? Moving on to R&B. Leon Bridges, Norah Jones, and Beyonce. Is Norah Jones R&B? Is that what we're calling Norah Jones?
Well, I mean, she's soulful.
She is soulful. I would have her a little jazzier than R&B.
That's fair.
I think she and Leon have been on Austin City Limits, and I'm gonna say no to Beyonce for the same reason as Taylor. I think they're just like, that's a whole other world that they're in. So I'm gonna say, unfortunately, Beyonce hasn't been on Austin City Limits. That's right.
Correct.
Yeah. Again, tag her in the comments. We need to get Beyonce on Austin City Limits. PBS, come on. All right, that was super fun. Check out Austin City Limits and let me know in the comments if there are any other performers that you find that have been on there in the show's 50-year history that surprised you. And of course, tag the performers that you want to see on there. If you do want a more local spin-off of this show that you can use in your classroom, 2 of our Michigan stations also offer live music programming. Detroit PBS hosts a show called Detroit Performs, which shares live performances from bands and musicians across Southeast Michigan with interviews about their history, their craft, and their impact. And Backstage Pass from WKR in East Lansing offers deep dives into local artist stories throughout full-length recorded performances. Both of these programs can be used alongside activities that invite students to listen carefully, notice patterns, and analyze music, lyrics, instrumentation, and performance art in music class, social studies, ELA, and other contexts. These shows would also be great models for helping students practice interviewing or recording performances. If you follow the link to the downloadable resource for this episode, you'll find a brand new project toolkit to help you teach these types of music performance-driven programs in your classroom, along with some new media challenges that invite students to think critically about how and why we tell stories about music and musicians. Now let's talk about the magic of media and digital storytelling. Back in March, I got a chance to deliver a workshop at McCall all about digital storytelling and the resources available for free through PBS. And I thought about delivering that exact session here, but I also thought it might be fun if we use our planning period to plan some actual lessons that you can use next week and every week for the rest of the year. Because it's this time of the year when you're looking for an easy, definitely gonna work way to engage young people, to lift up their voices and stories, and to find a way to authentically assess what they've learned this year. And a digital storytelling project can do exactly that. So stick this out with me, subscribe to the channel, watch the episodes, and every week I'm gonna do my best to walk you through a project step by step with ideas, resources, and tips that I know will work. And I'll give you a minimum of 1 to 2 days back each week. Sound good? Let's try it. Oh, and by the way, if you click through to the landing page for this episode, there's an outline of where we're headed for those of you who do like to plan ahead at least a little. Lesson 1, what's your story? Gather your students, check in with them authentically, and share that you want to start a digital storytelling project for the end of the year. Ask them what they know about digital storytelling, what those words might mean, and if they have ever produced a video, a film, or another multimedia project. Budget 5 to 10 minutes for this discussion. Then show them a couple examples of videos that you like. These might be videos that you've already used during the year to teach concepts or inspire your students, or maybe these are examples of experts talking about topics or taking course content to the PSA or journalism level. I would encourage you to envision what your students would ideally produce at the end of this project and find videos that model that. If you don't have anything specific in mind, that's okay. Just pick some solid videos and ask your students to talk about their favorites and have a discussion about what makes a good video and a good story. Spend 10 minutes or so watching and talking about content together. Next, when students have a little bit of inspiration but not a ton of restrictions, send them off to brainstorm what they might create. A good strategy here might be to start with a large group brainstorm where you just list as many ideas as possible and then send students into small groups to refine some of those ideas. A simple thinking protocol or graphic organizer that asks them to identify a possible idea, brainstorm how it connects to course content, and then identify potential purposes and audiences for the content could be a great guide for this small group step and help support the conversation for when you all return to large group. After 10-15 minutes or so in small groups, bring everybody back and close out the lesson by asking students to share what they talked about. Try to just let the ideas flow without directing them in any particular direction, and give students 5 minutes or so of journaling time to jot down their thoughts before you send them off to think more overnight. The next time you meet to work on the project, even if it's just for a few minutes before you have to move on to another lesson, recap the discussion and ask if students have any more ideas. Keep a running list somewhere on your board or somewhere digitally that you can share back with them when they begin, and spend a few minutes telling them how they'll navigate the project. Independently, in small groups, as a large group, share the timeline and share your goals for their learning before getting started. This will help them position their own thinking so that they know how to try and meet your expectations, what they can continue thinking about, and what they can plan for over the next few weeks. This is also a great time for you to pause and revise and reframe your own thinking based on student ideas and feedback. We have resources for your planning linked on the landing page for this week's episode, and next week I'll walk you through inviting your students to deepen their thinking, do some research, and make some concrete plans for their digital stories. So that's all for this week. Whether you're bringing funk into your history class, launching a student media project, or just vibing with a good playlist while grading papers, I think we have something for you. And if you do try any of these ideas with your students, let us know how it goes. We love hearing what you're doing and sharing it with the community. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep it funky.
This program is made possible in part by the state of Michigan and by viewers like you. Thank you.